Hello everybody once again, this is AikawaKazu. Welcome back to another Black Desert Online Southeast Asia video. Today we take a look at the beginner guide, and here will be the key areas that I'll be sharing today in this video. I'll be talking about leveling your first character, I'll be talking about contribution points or CP in short and its importance, notable life skills to work on, as well as a quick note investment for beginners as to what notes you should invest in when it comes to your worker empire for the initial part of the game and why. I'll be talking about energy, why it's important stuff, gearing progression next, followed by enhancement, how to get more Blackstones, and last but not the least, we have simple tips and tricks that does not fall, anything that's not fall into the categories that I mentioned earlier on. So let's go right into it here for leveling a first character. So if you go Google about how you should play BDO or how you should level, they will tell you that grinding is the best way that you should level. But for your first character, you definitely want to go through your Black Spirit quest. So you press slash, and you'll be able to get to your Black Spirit quest, and you want to go through all the Black Spirit quests that you have for your first character. Why? Because they give you a lot of contribution points EXP, which leads you to having more contribution points, and I'll go into contribution points very soon. So doing Black Spirit quests as well as any, you can see behind me this little cute little bunny at the back, any yellow bordered quest or yellow border quest will give you CP XP as well, alongside really good rewards at the end, like gold bars for silver, that means more monies in the game. You're looking at really good items like the Black Spirit. Here it is, the Black Spirit Crystal. If you finish all the Black Spirit quests up to the Media quest line, it's worth 9 mil, so even if you do not want to use it, you can sell it away. Very nice, really good crystal. So doing the Black Spirit quest and all the yellow border quests for CP, XP and XP will easily get you to level 45 to 49, and it's one of the best ways to increase your contribution points as well. In fact, personally, because right now we do not have cooking byproduct for contribution EXP being released in our Southeast Asia service yet, it's a comeback mechanic per se, but in any case, I've leveled a level 56 Tamer as well as a level 55 Ninja, and I can tell you that they give around 30 to 40 CP per character up to 55, up to 56 if you do all the Black Spirit quests and all the yellow border quests. It's one of the best ways you can increase your CP beyond what we call contribution points daily quests, which I'll go into when I talk about CP, which is the next thing that I'll be working on right now. But for leveling, very simple, Black Spirit quests and do all the yellow border quests that is in the area that your Black Spirit quest brings you to. Obviously, you don't want to do some of the troublesome quests, any of the killing quests, any of this, like go investigate something, do them. Any of those that tell you go like gather like 10 logs or life skill related yellow border quests, you might want to leave them alone for now. But just do your Black Spirit quest and your yellow border quest, good EXP, and you'll get a lot of contribution points. And why is contribution points important? Alright, contribution points is used for a lot of things in this game. One of them, what we call node investment for your worker empire. CP is also used for function housing in towns. For example, if you want more storage in Hado City, you need to invest contribution points into specific houses. Like this one, you can see gives me 8 more spaces in the storage, but you need to spend a lot of CP. Yeah, so for this one, it's a total of 4 CP, and you can't just buy one house like this. It's like chain up together. So let's say if I want to get Hydro 4-2, and wait, because I'm cooking. Let's say if I want to sell this house, look, I have to sell all the other houses. So you can see that I need to have 7 CP to buy all these 4 houses. Basically, contribution points, very important when it comes to these functions, housing that you need to purchase in towns, lodging for more workers. You have your 2 workshops to craft tools, you have your refinery. Yeah. And CP is used for all these things. CP is also used for unlocking or investing into a node. So these things are a node, right? And if I want to send workers to Northern Hyder Quarry, for example, I need to connect Northern Guard Camp to Northern Hyder Quarry so that I can send workers from Hado all the way to over here. If I want to send workers from Valia, right, or Valia, I need to connect this way as well. So basically, if you want to send workers to a particular node, it has to be connected to a town for you to be able to send your workers to work on the nodes over there. So CP is required for you to connect them, and therefore it is a really important resource, especially if you want to work on your worker empire, which I'll talk about later on. But the main thing that you need to know, alright, even if you don't do life skills as a player, for example, there are some people that I know that just like to grind, they don't do life skills, they don't care about whether they have a worker empire or not, so CP is still needed right now because huts and shops are recently released in the game, Let me just show you what I mean. So hearts and shards are these. Hard black crystal shards and sharp black crystal shards are then heated, right? You have to use your production activity for heating, right? You combine two, alright? Two, let me just show you real quick, alright? You need 2 armor stones and 1 hard black crystal shard to change into a concentrated stone for armor, and you need 2 2 weapon stones and 1 sharp black crystal shard to change into a concentrated stone for weapons. So what are they used for? When you want to go beyond plus 15 for your weapons and armors, you need to use concentrated stones. Obviously, concentrated weapon stone for weapons and concentrated stone armors for armors. And CP is used. There are a few ways to gather hearts and shards, or to get hearts and shards. So one of the ways is through farming. So you can see over here, you need 10 contribution points to rent a 10 CP fence, which gives you the opportunity to plant or farm 10 crops. So people who don't grind in this game will use 10 fences. So 10 CP fences. So that's 100 CP, right? So you still need around 100 CP. And then they'll plant 100 crops. Whenever they are pruning the crops, whenever they are removing infestations from the crops, they have a chance to get this hearts and sharp thing that I'm talking about, which are used for enhancement for armors and weapons, very important. And that is why even if you are a grinder and you don't want to use a CP for housing purposes, for no empire purposes, you still need to use CP for farming, and farming is one of the ways you can actually get hearts and sharps that a lot of grinding type players actually do. So CP very important. So how do you actually get more CP, right? Aside from the fact that I mentioned earlier on, where you level a new character, you do Black Spirit quests. So that's one of the good ways to get CP XP, to increase your CP pool before cooking byproducts release, because we don't have that right now. So the way that you can get CP regularly is through what we call contribution daily quest. If you press O to bring up your quest window, under recurring we have what we call city contribution daily quest. So you can see for Calphion you have 18. It's a bunch of other contribution quests as well. Not all of them give CP XP, but there are a decent amount that it gives, right? So I have a video that tells you how to do, or how to get 2000 CP XP every day just by doing your Calphion dailies. Most of these, not all of them. And if you are at 100 CP, they will get you about 2 to 3 contribution points per day, because it's a daily, you can only do them once a day. And if you are at 150 CP, you'll get around 2. Right, at my current CP, you will not even get 1. So there's this thing called soft cap for contribution points. So 255 contribution points is the soft cap currently in the game. What that means is that above 255 contribution points, you need a lot of contribution EXP to just get 1 point. So as a new player, you want to get the 255 contribution points as soon as possible. So by doing your Calphion days, by doing your daily contribution quest, it is one of the fastest way, and it's one of the most consistent way to get contribution points, right? So make sure you spend 10 minutes, or you just need 10 to 12 minutes to do your Calphion contribution daily quest. Again, I have a video on that, links in the description below. Do check it out, very important. As long as you are able to do them, do them every single day. Even if you do not want to do any of the other city or towns contribution quests, as you can see here, Media have contribution quests as well. You can do some of them, you don't have to do all of them, but if you want to try hard, then definitely you want to do all of the contribution quests that are in towns as well. Like in Hado itself, there are contribution quests, but they might be out of the way. So if there's anything you want to do, just do that 2000 CPXP in Calphion every day, and you should be fine, and you will be able to get to 255 over a month or so of playing. And then don't forget, you can make a new character, do the Black Spirit quest and the Yellow Border quest to continue to get more CP if you really want to try hard to get the 255 contribution points as soon as possible. So that is it for CP. CP very important, and make sure you do your contribution points daily quest, or contribution daily quest every day. So moving on to the next part of the guide itself, we have notable life skills to work on. Alright, so 2 main notable life skills that you want to work on. Alright, so if you look at my character, under ranking, 13 in cooking, 11 in growth, 18 in gathering, and yeah, that's about it. So my cooking is pretty okay. My processing is A right now. But basically the rank that you want to do is you want to get to Artisan 1 for cooking, right? And you want to get to Artisan 1 for processing. So let me talk about cooking first. Alright. So if you are doing Worker Empire, aka life skills, then you need to feed your workers. To feed your workers, you need to cook beer for them. You can see I have 469 beers right now, and I can recover their stamina. So I feed them. You can see it goes down by quite a little bit. So I have 53 workers right now, which means that I need to make a lot of beers. So the best way to level cooking is actually just to cook beer. In terms of how effective it will be. It's not the fastest way to level your cooking. It is not the one that will make you the most money, but it is the one that is the most useful for you. And it will be something that as a beginner to life skilling, as a beginner in the game, that you should be able to acquire you will be able to acquire the materials in large enough amounts every day to be able to consistently be able to craft beers, to consistently be able to level your cooking. So why do you want to level your cooking to Artisan 1? It's because in this game, the better or the more skillful you are in a life skill, the better are your yield. What does that mean? So usually if I want to craft one beer, I need 5 grain materials, which can be like potatoes, 5 potatoes for example. 5 potatoes, 1 sugar, 2 leathering agent, and 6 mineral water to craft 1 beer. So if I have 1 set of materials to craft, I will only get 1 beer as a beginner cook. But if I'm an Artisan 1, if I'm a professional, I can get 2, I can get 3, I can even get 4, I can even get a rare proc. That means I get a beer that is a blue color rarity, and that means that it can recover more stamina. In any case, crafting beer is one of the best things you can craft as a cook to get the Artisan 1, and this is where I'll be talking about the no investment. Not yet, I'll go into processing first and then I'll do one shot, alright? So you want to get your cooking the Artisan 1 because in the future as well, future content, you have this thing called Imperial Crafting. The thing that you can Imperial Craft is dependent on your skill level as well. And you have your honey wine, you have your meat, omelette stuff. So you can't craft a crate, if I'm not wrong, unless you are at that skill level. So getting the Artisan 1 is like a very nice benchmark. It's not very hard to achieve, but it's something nice to achieve if you are looking to leveling your cooking. So Artisan 1 for cooking, very important in the future as well. And then later on, when cooking byproduct for contribution point comes out, you will actually have enough materials to mass craft to then have that really nice boost to increase your contribution points. Because remember, once you hit 255, it is relatively tough to increase your contribution points when it comes to getting more CPXP, because the CPXP that you need to get 1 point is going to be exponentially high by the time that happens. So being able to have a decent skill level in cooking will be really nice by that time as well, when Imperial Crafting is introduced, when cooking byproducts is introduced, right? So that's for cooking. So processing, okay, this one is very simple. A very simple analogy as to why you want to level your processing. Alright, so very simple. Let me show you my storage. Okay. So just like cooking, the higher your skill level, the more yield you'll get in case of processing, it's like per processing, right? So if you look at the iron ore over here, which is a relatively common, what we call it a tier 1 material, that means the lowest tier, right? You can sell it in the marketplace for 478 silver. To process 1, it means to get 1 melted iron shard, you need 5 iron ore, right? So if you take 5 times 478, it's about 2,000. But 1 melted iron shard is only worth 1.8k if you look at the minimum price, right? I'm also looking at the minimum price for iron ore. So obviously you are losing money, right? Because if I use 5 iron ore to make into 1 melted iron shard, it's 2,000 plus silver. That means I should just sell the iron ore instead of processing it, right? Because it's 1.8k over here. But if you are a professional processor, if you are Artisan 1 in processing, we will go up to what we call 2.4, 2.5 per yield. That means every time when I try to process an iron ore, let's say I process 1,000 iron ore, I will get the equivalent of, instead of 1,000 divided by 5 is 200, right? I will get like 450, about 450. That means like a 2.5 yield, not like twice. Wait, did I do the math right? Yeah, you get about 4.5 if I'm not wrong, or 4.4. So about 440, that kind of thing. But you get the idea. Because if I have 5 iron ore transform into 2 melted iron shards, for example, then I make money. Because now instead of selling it for 2,000, I mean if I sell 5 iron ore for 2,000, right? I actually, with Artisan 1 processing, I make 3.6k because I might get 2 iron shards, 2 melted iron shards. I might get 3, I might get 4, but it averages out to about 2.5, 2.4 when you get the Artisan 1 or higher. So that is why leveling processing is really, really good, right? You can literally sit there, you go into the marketplace, for example, and for example, let's look at steel, a very common material, right? Alright, and you can look at the recent transaction. Right now it's 320, the recent transaction is 319. So you can actually see from the recent price under the recent transaction to see whether this material itself is popular. And because of how you're an artisan processor, you can actually find out which material you can process from the lowest tier, that means T1, all the way to T2 or T3, such that when you sell them on the marketplace and you know that people are demanding for them, that you can simply make money just by processing every day. That's why getting processing artisan 1 or higher is really, really good. Right. So let's get to how you can invest nodes such that you can actually level your cooking, such that you can level your processing. So for processing, let me talk about processing first. All right. So it's very simple. You need to be able to level processing by processing stuff. So to supplement the stuff that you can process that is not ores, you can actually get your Costa farm. Right. You have your flex. Right. Flex can be processed to level your processing. You have one more flex node over here in Moretti Plantation, really nice to process. And then later on you have all your ores, right? So starting from Avelia, Coastal Cliff, you have your iron ore, powder of darkness. You have your coastal cave, iron ore and copper ores. The powder of flames and the powder of darkness are all really, really good materials as well. And then for Hado, you have your northern Hado quarry for copper ore and iron ore again. And later on you want to go to Kaplan. Right, if you want to make steel, you will need coal, right? And coal is at Kaplan Quarry over here. Just 1 CP, very, very good. You have to get coal. So you combine, you heat coal and melted iron shard, you can get steel. But just bear in mind that you need to be able to acquire this thing called skilled processing. It's a knowledge that you need to have, that you need to unlock. There's a quest line for it. Just bear that in mind, that there are certain things that you need to acquire in terms of knowledge for processing before you can process tier 2 or tier 3 materials. Just bear that in mind. So that's like the simple things that you can get in the beginning, such that you're able to get enough materials to be able to process and level your processing. So for cooking, you will need grain type. So grain, you're talking about potatoes, you're talking about wheat, you're talking about corn, you're talking about barley. I think that's about it, right? So if you're looking at potatoes, you have 3 nodes: Logia farm, Finto farm, and Bartali farm, right? So potato, potato, and then potato over here as well. Right, so the next 2 things that you want to invest is not to for cooking or anything in terms of the beginning side of things. This is more for when Valencia or Imperial Crafting is out, is your chicken meat production. You don't need the chicken meat. The chicken meat is relatively useless. What you want is the eggs. So you have 1 egg node over there and 1 egg node over here. I've invested in these 2 nodes almost since the start of the game, and I only have 9,000 eggs. So just bear in mind that you will need more than 9,000 eggs, I think, and they are used in a lot of Imperial cooking, crafting stuff. Alright, so just make sure that you get those egg nodes, and that's about it for like beginning node investments. Some of the other things that you want to get, sorry, this one is very important as well since I talk about egg nodes. A Legendro farm, make sure you get the cooking honey. This cooking honey node is really, really good, because if you want to make milk tea, you want to make sweet tea, not sweet tea, but if you want to make milk tea, cooking honey is needed. I mean, it's called cooking honey, so obviously it's going to be used for cooking. So if you're into cooking life skills, cooking honey is nice. But if not, yeah, initially when you don't have a lot of CP, those are a few nodes that you want to invest into. Really, really good, and they will help you be able to level your cooking. So 3 potatoes, right? So let's go on to wheat. You have a Costa farm again, you have 1 wheat over here. Moretti Plantation, again, 1 more wheat over here. So that's 2 wheat. And then in Calphion, you have your northern wheat plantation, you have barley, and you have your wheat over here as well. And if you have CP to spare, this one not recommended because it's not really beginner friendly. You can also invest into Tuscany farm for 2 corn nodes. But because you remember that you have to connect all your nodes to be able to send workers there, it might not be wise to send your or to spend your CP in Tuscany farm, because 3 potato nodes and 3 wheat nodes and 1 barley node should be able to supplement you to make enough beers to level up your cooking every single day. And I think that's about it for life skills. So notable life skills: get your artisan 1 processing, get your artisan 1 cooking, very good. And then later on, if you want to go into alchemy, it is always nice to have your processing at artisan 1 as well, because some of the alchemy materials require certain materials to be processed. So instead of using a 1:1 ratio comparison when you're processing materials for alchemy, for example, if you want to process black crystal, rough black crystals into black crystals for the making of, let's say, armor reform stones, you will get more black crystals per rough black crystal processing, if you know what I mean. So basically, getting your processing up to artisan 1 is also good when you're diving into future life skills such as alchemy. Alright, so I will not be talking about alchemy because it's not really beginner friendly, even though if you want to, you can go search information on that, but it's definitely not something that I recommend beginners to do or to work on because it's not that easy in the beginning. Alright, next thing, let's move on to energy. Alright, so energy is also a very, very important resource in the game. Some people would say that it's more important than contribution points. It really depends on depends on how you want to play the game. But energy is used for many things. Energy is used for rerolling workers. As a life skiller, rerolling workers to higher skill level is definitely a priority for you. If you're a beginner, you want to aim for mostly skilled workers, and later on you want to reroll such that you get mostly professional workers like this, and you want to get artisan workers eventually like this. Yep. So energy should be used to reroll workers if you're a new player, especially if you're into life skills. Energy is also used for gathering. Let's say you're chopping a tree, you need energy as well. You remember I talked about how you use the CP to get fences for farming. You use energy to tend to your crops as well. Whenever you're pruning a crop, whenever you're removing infestations from a crop, use energy as well. Energy is also used for investing into nodes. If you invest into a town, it will make conversations with NPCs better. Under the question mark over here, you can see it will become easier to have successful conversations with that town's NPC if you invest into a town when it comes to the node. You can also invest into nodes, right? Like for example, my main title is level 10 over here. At level 10, you have a 10% chance to get a 50% increase in item drop rate. So if you look at, if you press escape, you go under content, under info and function, under item drop, main title over here, drop some rare items like necklace of the shouts, bell of the shouts. If you have a level 10 node, it gives you a 50% item drop rate increase 10% of the time. So that's what energy is used for as well, and you need a lot of energy to get a node to level 10, right? Energy is also used for a night vendor, which is not introduced in the game, but basically you use 15 energy to roll for an item. People are looking for boss armor, boss weapons. Again, it's not implemented yet, but you can see the energy is very, very useful. So how do you increase your max energy, right? Increasing max energy is very simple. You just need to gain IQ, alright? No capper, by the way. You just need to get more knowledgeable. The more knowledge you have about the game, about the NPCs, about the character, about the monsters, about the topography, you gain more max energy. So it's very simple, right? Let me turn off my webcam real quick over here because the UI is at the bottom right. So you press H, alright? Press the alphabet H. You can see that you can go through an entire list. People of Eastern Baranos, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 energy. People of Serendia, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 energy. So you go through the entire list, pardon the voice crack, you'll be able to get energy. So this seems very, very tedious, and it seems really, really hard to follow, right? It seems really, really complicated. So one of the best ways you can do to increase max energy is to just to explore the entire place. So whenever you're playing, remember just now I mentioned that you're doing a Black Spirit quest, right? Whenever you enter a town, whenever you enter a new, for example, a new node, let's say you go to Costa Farm because the Black Spirit quest brings you there. Let's say if you go to Calphion, or you go to Marnie Farm Ruins because somehow the quest brings you there. Make sure you look at your mini-map on the top right, and there will be NPCs with a question mark. What that means is if you go to the NPC itself, and if you interact with the NPC, you see here, if I go close to an NPC, interact as an R button. When you interact with it, you'll gain knowledge of the NPC, right? When you gain knowledge of the NPC, you can see under this character, if you know, let's say, residents of Valia, right? You know hands, you gain knowledge of hands, but you need to gain knowledge of the entire list to gain the 2 energy. You see? So basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that the best way to get max energy without trying to go through the list is to explore all the nodes, all the inland nodes. Find the node manager. There's always a node manager for the node itself, right? Find all the nodes, talk to all the question marks there are in the node area, gain knowledge of the entire inland areas by spending 1 day just to ride around the entire place. So you don't have to do this in the beginning, but once you want to start increasing the max energy, you just spend 1 day, ride around all these places. How do you know where to ride to? Go to somethinglovely.net/BDO. Again, links in the description below. They will show you where the node manager is. They will show you where the node is. They will tell you like which node is missing from the map, so you know where to go. Like you know where to Autopath, right? To discover the node itself, to discover the NPC, to gain knowledge of the NPC. And once you do that for the entire inland area, easily 140 energy to 160 max energy, right? And take note that max energy is shared among all your alternate characters. So by exploring all the inland nodes, 140, 160 max energy, really nice. Later on, when you are able to get a fishing boat, or if you can find a friend or a guildmate or someone that is nice enough to bring you around, it will take you around 4 hours to explore the ocean nodes. This is not all the ocean nodes is just all the ocean nodes that's available for Southeast Asia at this point in time. So in the future there will be more as well on this side, for example, and I believe there's more areas on top as well. But this will give you a nice 30 to 35 energy boost, by the way. So here inland 140 to 160, and then over here it will be about 30, right? So after that, if you want to increase the max energy, then you press H. Then you go through all the list, right? People of Calfan, you can see I have one energy here for upper class. Where you can't see it because my webcam is blocking, but basically you go through the list. One of the things to go through in the beginning that's nice is Adventure Journal. For the Velia areas, for the Hydro areas, that'll be very nice. The Calfan one is quite troublesome, right? You just need to Google Adventure Journal, the exact name, okay? And you should be able to find videos and guides that tells you how to unlock them. Where's the NPC, where's the object that you need to interact with. And some of these things will require you to do what we call the amity mini game, which is you having a conversation with an NPC and you getting close to an NPC. Amity is like your relationship score, right? The higher your relationship score, at a specific number, sometimes you will unlock a knowledge, which is what you need to do to gain the knowledge of that particular NPC or things that you need over in this knowledge based thingy that will increase the max energy. So that's how you get max energy. There's no hard and fast way. I mean, there's no hard and quick way. Wrong. There's no easy way to gain knowledge. It is very tedious, and I'll just give you some rep. 321. The highest energy that I've seen so far in my friend list is 350. So it is very possible to go above what I have right now, despite how much I play the game. Alright, so energy is very important. Go and get your maximum energy. And well, one last thing. So energy, you gain energy on your, other characters. You gain 1 energy every 1 hour, even if you don't play the character actively. So all these characters will gain 1 energy per hour, and you want to make alternate characters for your account as soon as possible so that you start banking energy. So if you are playing on a default package for BDO, you will have at least 3 characters. That means 2 characters you can create, and if you are playing the game when a new class is released, they'll always give free, quote-unquote free, character expansion coupon. So, when Tamer was released, I believe we got an expansion coupon, Ninja, Kuno, and right now Valkyrie, so that's 4. So you'll have around 7 extra character slots if you participated in all the new character release, right? But if not, go make your new characters and start banking and gaining energy on your alternate characters. Really, really nice. Energy is needed. All these characters can be used for rolling workers, Night Render in the future, that kind of stuff. Can be used for gathering as well, so make your alternate characters. And that's it for energy. Yeah. So next thing, gear progression, right? So once you're done with your leveling, once you're done getting to level 49, what's next? This is the thing that you'll be asking, right? So at level 49, one of the best ways, or one of the best gears that you can get is what we call the low-rate armor set and the Treant Spirit accessory set, which I'll show on screen right now. Yep. So the low-rate armor set will give you around 118 DP if you get a full set, and they are equivalent to a plus 12 green base armor piece, right? Plus 12 green base armor piece, and they give you very, very nice set bonus. That set, the low-rate armor set and the Treant Spirit accessory set, will give you a nice DP and AP boost until you're able to get your weapons to plus 15, right? So you should work on getting a low-rate armor set, which requires you to go hunt in 4 main areas. You have your Catfish Camp, you have your Roofer Mount Station, you have your Mensha Forest, you have your Treant Forest. These 4 areas all drop 1 armor and 1 accessory, so it's like 1 pair, and you go through all the 4 areas. While doing a Black Spirit quest, if you want to be extra efficient, because your Black Spirit quest will bring you to all these 4 areas. So try to farm them. That means if your Black Spirit quest brings you to Catfish, for example, stay at Catfish until you get the armor piece that drops at Catfish. Stay there and until you get the accessory piece that drops at Catfish. I think it drops the ring. No, I think it drops the ring for the Catfish. So you need 2 rings. So if you need to stay until you get 2 rings, do that. So once you get your low-rate armor set and your Treant Spirit accessory set and your weapons to plus 15, right? You can then move on to Medea to farm, to start grinding your your rogues, your mains. But before you do that, you can also farm another accessory set that is basically an upgraded Treant Spirit accessory set, which is the Azula set, right? So Helms drops the rings and the earrings, Elric's Shrine drops the belt, and finally Abandoned Iron Mine drops the necklace. Yeah, and those accessories are as good as a Pry Mark of Shadow or Pry Witch Ring for that matter. Yeah. So again, I'll show on screen what are the stats, so you can work to getting your Azula set once you're done with your low-rate armor set, your Treant Spirit accessory set, as well as your plus 15 weapons and sub weapon. So while that is going on and while you're farming for your Azula set, you might want to start working on getting your armors to plus 15, which can be any set depending on your class. Like for warriors, you can go 2 heavies and 2 Grunil armors. That is quite nice for the HP and the AP boost. And once you get those armors to plus 12 or plus 13, you can then replace your lower armor set and then work on getting them to plus 15. So the thing is, where do I get the Blackstones to do the enhancement, right? That will be what you'll be asking. So when you do a Black Spirit quest, this is a per family Black Spirit quest. Yeah, there's this thing called the Sharper Weapon quest that will give you a decent amount of Blackstones for weapons and armors. And then later on, you will continue to another quest line known as the Many a Mickle Makes a Pickle one. And I will say on average, they'll give you about 40 to 50 weapon stones and about 60 to 80 armor stones in general. I can't remember exactly. But if you do those quest lines, you'll get enough weapon and armor stones to get a weapon to plus 15. And then a little bit on your armors, right? So how do you get more Blackstones for enhancement? So the most consistent way to get Blackstones in this game is through what we call boss scrolls. And the one that we're going to be talking about today is the Ancient Relic Crystal Summon Scroll, which you can get when you combine 5 Ancient Relic Shards, right, into a plus shape, right? So if you open an inventory and you have to uncheck auto arrange. If you're a new player, you probably have your auto arrange on. Spend some time, turn off the auto arrange, put your stuff at the bottom right so that new items always show on top, and then you will not have to turn on auto arrange and turn off every time. It's going to be very messy. So spend some time to fix your inventory, and then you get the Ancient Relic Shard, place them into a plus shape that will give you the that will form an Ancient Relic Crystal Summon Scroll. So the first question that you'll ask is, how do I acquire the Ancient Relic Shard? You do it by doing AFK fishing. Right, to do AFK fishing, you need a fishing rod, and there's 2 kinds of rods that you're looking at. You have your Balanos fishing rod, you have your Inferior fishing rod, which I have as well, which is what I started with, which is what you should get in the beginning. I'll tell you why. So Inferior fishing rod has higher durability as you enhance it. The plus 5 Inferior fishing rod has 100 durability. So 100 durability will allow you to AFK fish easily for about 8 hours, assuming that you have the inventory space to fish and not fill up your inventory, right? So you don't really need a plus 5 if you want to fish AFK fish for 6 hours. A plus 3 would be nice. So why am I using a Balanos fishing rod right now? It's because the Balanos fishing rod reduces auto fishing time. That means I have more auto fishing, like per the same duration that I fish, right? A plus 5 Balanos fishing rod has 15%. If you get a plus 7 or plus 8, which I believe might be in the marketplace to see the stats, I think it's like 20-odd%. Yeah, plus 7 is 18%, plus 8 I think is 21%. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, so you make auto fishing faster and you can fish more per the duration. I AFK fish for about 6 hours every day. That's my sleeping time, and I get about 12 or 13 Ancient Relic Shards every day. That's about 2.5 scrolls worth of Ancient Relic Shards when I fish in an exhausted fishing area, right? So place you can fish, Hado is quite nice. If you want some secret areas, Northern Sianaga is nice because it's in a safe zone. You can go to Trent as well. Trent is quite nice. Yeah, Kaplan is quite nice. Basically, if you fish in the popular areas like Hado, the fishing area itself will be exhausted. That means that you have a longer auto fishing time. And you don't want that, you want to fish more. So you can go to some of the areas that I mentioned. That's like a pro tip. So you fish, you combine the scrolls. When you get 3 to 5 scrolls, you can then run your Ancient Relic Crystal Summon Scroll party, right? So usually people run 3 scrolls and 5 scrolls. Why do you run the scrolls? Well, I have not mentioned that. How do you get Blackstone? So when you run the scrolls, you get a reward bundle, something like this. Alright, when you open a reward bundle, you get this thing called Hunter's Seal, or Hunter's Seal, right? 2 Hunter Seals can be changed for 1 armor stone, 3 for 1 weapon stone. You can also change for reform stones, which is used to get your gears to ultimate, but don't do it when you're in the early game. I know the yellow weapon looks amazing, but don't do it because you need 5 Hunter Seal to exchange for 1 reform stone, and the chance to get to ultimate is only a measly 5%. That means on average you need to spend about 20 reform stones. That's 100 Hunter Seals, which is equivalent to 50 armor stones, which you can use to get your armors to plus 15, for example. So don't change don't get reform stones with the Hunter Seals in the beginning. Alright, but basically you run the boss scrolls, you open a bundle, you get Hunter Seals. So why do you run in scrolls of 3 and 5 with a party of 5? It's because when you kill someone else's boss scroll summon, that means he summons the scroll, right? He summoned the boss. You also get a loot as well. So let's say if each party member has 5 scrolls, that means there's 25 loot. That means you will at least get 25 Hunter Seal every time when you form a party of 5 to run 5 Ancient Relic Crystal Summon Scrolls. So there are other boss scrolls in the game, like the Caution spell. This is from the Forbidden Book. You have daily boss scrolls as well. So Auto Imp is more of the daily boss scroll choices. You also have your weekly bosses like a Dimtree Spirit or your Witch, your Hexe Witch summoning scroll as well. So all of them have their own reward bundles. And the reason why I'm saving some of the reward bundles here is because in the future, when Awakening boss scrolls are released or when few bosses are released, that means boss armors will be released. When you open these bundles, there's a very small chance to get the boss armor itself when you open the bundles. That's why I'm keeping them. So you don't really have to worry about this because you have to kind of figure out which boss scroll, which daily boss scroll that you want to choose to keep so that you can keep the bundles for that. But just know that this is why I'm keeping the bundles, and you might want to do that as well. But know that if you keep the bundles, then you do not get the Hunter's Use that you can get from the bundles. But the Ancient Relic, Crystal Summoning Scroll bundles, just open all of them. Get all the Hunter's Use. The Ancient Relic or boss scrolls will also give you something very important that you don't have to worry about yet. It's called Memory Fragments, which is used to recover durability of an item during an enhancement. And this thing is used for when you are trying to recover the durability of like boss weapons and armors. You want to save them up as much as possible. Currently, right now, 2 months into the game, I have about 933 memory fragments, which is not a lot. There are people out there that has 2,000, and there are people that are selling them as well. Mem frags, yep, 2,737 in the marketplace. In the future, when all the boss armors and weapons are released, all this will be gone. If you go ask any and EU viewers, they'll tell you that everybody will buy all the memory fragments at this price right now. But the only reason why they say that is because their content in the game allows them to earn like 1 billion if they play the game smart. So 500,000 silver is nothing to them. But right now people don't buy them because we only have the Zaka World Boss in our server right now. We don't have all the other boss armors, all the other 3 bosses released right now. But in the future, just bear in mind that memory fragments will be a highly demanded for item because you can never have enough memory fragments in the future because they are used to recover the durability of your boss weapons and armors in the future. And the reason why you use them is because to recover durability in this game, you have to use the same item. So for example, if I enhance my longsword, I fail, I lose 10 durability, I can use another longsword to recover the durability from my longsword. But obviously, boss armors and weapons don't come out like that, right? That means you cannot use another boss weapon to recover 10 durability of your weapon, which is why memory fragments are used, which is why memory fragments are important. But again, not really that important for you. For a beginner, just know that you want to save them for now. And yep, that's it for gearing. Yep, so get your Lorry armor set, get your Trillion Spirit accessory set, get your Azula accessory set, get your weapons to +15 first, get your sub weapon to +15 first, and then work on your armors, and then later on start to gather your hearts and sharps, which is not like a beginner thing, but just know that the only way to get them is by gathering. Don't gather water. Gathering water doesn't get you heart and sharps. The other way you can do to get hearts and sharps is by farming, and you only get them when you take care of your crops through pruning and removal of infestations. Right? So there's 2 quote-unquote main ways to get hearts and sharps. I have a video on it. Go check it out on how I acquire my hearts and sharps. I have 55 hearts right now and 24 sharps. A decent amount. There are people out there that have more. If you do the farming method, then you probably have more than me. But in any case, I'm already full try and for my armors and weapons, so I don't need to use them anymore for now. In the future, you can get beyond try. You will become Tat and Pen, which is basically 4 and 5. Not there yet at this point in time. But that's about it for Blackstones and enhancement, which moves on to the last part of this video, which will be other tips and tricks in Black Desert Online. So the first tip and tricks that I want to share with you is, remember I told you about how you want to level to level 49 for the Black Spirit quest. Why level 49 is because once you hit level 50, people will be able to PK you. So how do you know if someone can be PK'd? If you see a green name like this guy, you can see Chen Yu and Max Baguette, alright? Those are below level 50. You see this guy, Black Zero, his blue name is above level 50. If you see someone that has blue name, that means he can be player killed by other players. That means you can turn on PvP, which is PvP mode 1 over here, which is called, the shortcut key is alternate C, or people will call it flagging. If people flag you, that means they can PK you. If you stay at level 49, you cannot be PK'd by players. But why do you want to stay at level 49, right? So in this game, you have something called skill points. Okay, and the amount of skill EXP that you get, you can see there's another separate bar over here called skill points, is based on the difference of your level between the monster that you're trying to kill. So if you stay at level 49, every time when you kill Catfish, right? Every time when you kill Catfish is level 49 to 51, Rufum is 48 to 50, Train Forest is 49 to 51, Mensha is 49 to 51. So whenever you're killing them as a level 49, you will get the most efficient amount of skill EXP from them. If I go kill Catfish right now at level 59, I will get literally no skill XP, or very little skill EXP from level 49 more. So how do you know whether it's a good monster to kill for skill EXP? You can see by the color of their name. If it's green color, if it's very really nice, and if you stay at level 49, you'll be able to overskill catfishes and all the other Rufum stuff at green name, which means you get a very good amount of skill EXP when killing them. So how do you stay at level 49, you may ask, right? If you don't do your quest, there is this quest that they will tell you that once you complete it, you'll be able to turn to level 50, which is a catfish boss. As long as you do not defeat the catfish boss summoning scroll, or if you don't use it, which means you don't complete the quest, you can stay at level 49. So why do you want to stay at level 49, aside from the fact that you want to get skill points faster? Is because classes like Tamers requires a lot of skill points to learn some of the pre-awakening skills that they need to, right? So to quote-unquote future-proof this video, the base benchmark skill points that you're looking at right now that I recommend is 450 for pre-awakening, and then if you are try-hard, 650 will be nice, but 450 is relatively long already, but 450 is a nice amount to have before you decide to turn level 50, so that when you turn level 50, you can learn a bunch of skills, like run through all the important ultimate skills to learn for your class, right? So 650 is pretty try-hard, and if you really want to try hard when the awakening comes out, 850 is the amount of skill points that I think veteran or skilled players actually do grind for whenever they make a new character, a new class release, they're gonna main it, so they'll stay at level 49 and grind until 850 skill points, but that's pretty tryhard, that's like super tryhard. So 450 is a nice number, or you can go 400, but basically staying at level 49 is nice. You don't get PK, people cannot kill you, that means you can KS them, they cannot do anything to you pretty much, unless you're from a guild and they'll declare war on your guild and then you create trouble for your guild. But if you are guildless, which you will be because you're new to the game, then they can't do anything to you. So staying at level 49 is sweet, people cannot kill you, and you can farm skill points, right? So 450, 650, and 850. That's the first tip that I'll share. Next tip that I want to share here is titles, very important. Right? When you earn 150 titles in the game, you'll be able to get what we call a progress reward. And the progress reward that you're looking at right now, aside from the max energy and the EXP increase by 6% and stamina thing, the important one over here is luck. Right? You can actually acquire luck in the game by slotting a crystal known as the Magic Crystal of Perfection. You can buy one from the Jeweler NPC. You click on the top right corner here, right click the Jeweler NPC, you can buy the +1 luck crystal, and you can slot it into your gears to get +1 luck. So the highest level for luck that you can get is level 5. As you can see over here, I have 5 luck right now. And you can achieve +3 by default just by getting 150 titles. So get 150 titles for level 3 luck so that you can save yourself 3 slots of crystals, right? Because you always want to grind with 5 luck, even though people will tell you that it's a placebo effect, whatever. But personally, I think it matters when it comes to grinding your Treant Spirit accessory set, when it comes to grinding a Lure armor set. So having 5 luck while grinding those things will be really really nice to have. So get 3 luck, by getting 150 titles, which you will easily get if you just play the game. Yeah, when you kill monsters, you'll gain titles for them. When you kill a certain monster in X amount of time, when you are doing life skills, you'll earn titles for a life skill because there are 4 different categories. And when you complete certain quests, enhancement stuff, you'll get titles as well. So just aim for 150 titles for starters, so you get +3 luck. So the next 2 luck, you can get 1 if you can spend, if you don't mind spending some monies in the game, you can get an underwear or lingerie for female characters, that's another +1 luck. And then finally, you can get +1 luck for your armors. So if you want to aim for the next tier, level 4 luck, right, it's 600 titles. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, 600 titles, that's the next one, which I'm quite far away from, which is why I don't ask you to gain as a beginner of the game. But 150 titles, definitely good for level 3 luck. So we'll try to get that. So next tip over here will be some marketplace shenanigans, right? So if you are trying to snipe a certain item in the game, some rare item, for example, if you want to buy, let's say, accessory, right? Let's say you want to try and get, okay, let's say necklace, right? Ogre ring. Oops. Right. So if you want to camp for an ogre ring, you can see there's a notification button over here. When you click on this, it will be added to notifications, which is right here. Right, so you can see a bunch of items that are added to notification. So if you look at the bottom right corner of the screen, right, there's a bell, very nice bell, right? So you click on the bell, it will actually show you, I'm trying to drag it, yeah. It will actually show you the time that it was registered. So for any non-cash items / non-pro items, they will take exactly 15 minutes to show up in the marketplace, sometimes longer, sometimes 16, sometimes 17, but you only show up, like they fixed it since the patch, it's 15 minutes flat, alright? And it can show up, like it might be lagging, it might be 16 minutes, 17 minutes, so stay there for like 2 to 3 minutes if you don't see it, and you want to start camping a minute earlier. So let's say 0350, you see this large portion being put into the marketplace, it will show up at the bottom right for you when you add it to notifications, and you can see the time. So you plus 15 minutes, it's 4:05, right? So you start camping at 4:04. So whenever you're trying to buy something important that you want to have in the game, let's say you're camping for Gruner armors, every time when someone puts a Gruner armor into the marketplace, if you had it in notifications, it will show up at the bottom right as a window, right? And you can also keep track of it with this nice little window here as well. So really nice. One tip to learn if you're trying to snipe items. So for pro items, they show up almost immediately or within a minute, so you don't want to wait 15 minutes, by the way. So let's say if you see someone put up a costume into the marketplace, just know that you want to start camping for them as soon as possible. Which brings us to our next tip over here. When you hit level 52 in the game, you will have a choice between a transaction maid or storage maid, which I have both each right now because I bought the transaction maid. I actually chose storage maid at first because I tried to Google and people tell me that it's the same. I got scamasked. So I'm here to tell you to not get scamasked. So if you're a player that buys the base game and you're not planning to spend more money in the game, then the free maid that you get, I'll recommend you to get the transaction maid. Why? Because if you're grinding out there and something pops up in the notification that you want to buy, having a transaction maid allows you to access the marketplace without being at the marketplace itself, and you can buy or you can complete one transaction. What do I mean by one transaction? Sometimes if you want to buy more than one quantity, right, you can actually use your transaction maid to buy, let's say 500. So be very careful when you use the transaction maid. It's only one transaction. So whenever you buy anything that has more than one quantity, make sure that you hit the max key or whichever quantity that you want to buy. Don't just buy one. People make that mistake. But let's say if you're camping for pro items, then you'll only be one pet. So let's say people put up 10 pets, you try to beat for all the 10 pets. You can only buy one of them even if you win the bidding for all 10 of them. Just bear that in mind. If you want to buy all 10 of them, then you need 10 transaction maids for that matter. But transaction maid, highly recommended if you're a person that's not going to spend more money to get more mates. So choose transaction maid at level 52 when they give you the choice from the Blackstones request. That's another tip that I want to share with you. And last but not the least here will be auto-pathing. So let's say if you're making a negative karma meal for enhancement, if you're a beginner, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but you can actually auto-path to NPCs even if you don't complete the tutorial. If you don't complete the tutorial, they don't actually allow you to like auto-path. Like you cannot right-click a certain place and the path will come out. But you can still auto-path if you can find the NPC that you want to go into. So for example, if I want to go to the cook right now, I can type cook, right? And I click on the NPC, you can see on the mini-map, it shows up. Look, it's flashing right now, just to show you at the top right corner. So that's another tip that I want to share with you. So if you have not completed the tutorial, but you want to auto-path to a certain location, you can actually search the NPC at the top right, and you can auto-path to the NPC itself. And I think that's about it for the beginner guide video. It's a 47-minute video. You can hear that I'm trying to speak really fast. And I'm trying to finish this video and trying to make it as short as possible. I tried my best. I think this is my best attempt out of my 5 attempts so far. But yeah, if you're watching this and you know the game and you find that this is helpful, do share it with your friends who are trying to learn BDO for the first time. I think this covers most of the aspects of the game that will be good for beginners or people that are just starting out into the game. But in any case, I have a Discord community, links in the description below. If you want to join us, you can always go down and join our community. And you know, if you have any more questions, you can always ask in the BDO Southeast Asia text channel in my community. If not, I stream every day at twitch.tv/Kazu Aikawa 7 PM GMT +8 for 7 to 9 hours. If you have any further heart-burning questions that you want to chat with me, you can also come down to my stream as well. If not, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, stomp that like button, subscribe to the channel to see more. And as always, thanks for watching once again. God bless, and I'll see you guys and girls in the next one. Take care and bye bye.